We are just one day away from the first racing month of 2026. Before all of that, as you can see, we have got the Kuala Lumpur MotoGP season launch, the Malaysian capital. It's going to be featuring quite a lot today, I can tell you. You're joining myself, Kiko Giles. Today we are going to be taking you through one of the final team presentations. Just 3 remain. One of them, of course, is LCR Honda. The last one, of course, is the factory Hondas. But today it is all about the BK8 Gresini racing team. Of course, we want to hear from you right the way through the programme, so get your comments sent in to us and let us know your thoughts, let us know your predictions for 2026, let us know who you're cheering on, and also share your opinions on, of course, the livery that we're going to see very, very soon. We are going to be, hopefully, getting our first look at Alex Marquez in 2026. Can't guarantee the same for Fermin Aldeguer. He has a bit of an injury coming into this one, a broken leg, so unfortunately Fermin Aldeguer, at least out of the Sepang test, he is a doubt for Buriram. Good afternoon from India. Let us know where you are tuning in from and how you're tuning in as well. We look forward to all your comments. Good afternoon from Johannesburg. So we've had one from South Africa, one from India. Keep those comments rolling in and let us know exactly who you think is the hot favourite and the hot property moving in to 2026. Hello everyone, can't wait to see Team Gresini. Go, go, go. Thank you for that one, CT Nads. Absolutely can't wait to see Gresini. Such a shame that Fermin Aldeguer is obviously injured coming into 2026 after the way he ended 2025. Hi Kiko, love from Singapore. Love straight back to you from MotoGP headquarters here in Barcelona, CT Nads. Keep them coming in. Good morning from Florida, USA. Of course, we'll be coming to America at the end of March after our first trip back to Brazil for the first time since 2004. This is how the calendar looks in terms of the team presentations. Now, you can see we're on the right-hand side of that now, so we've done a fair few. We all started, of course, in Siena. We clapped eyes on Toprak Razgatlioglu as a MotoGP rider for the first time. Then it was over to Rome for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 before a short trip up to Milan and Aprilia. Ducati, they hosted from Madonna di Campiglio on the 19th of January. We had Yamaha taking shape from Indonesia and Trackhouse likewise as well on the same day. The 2 KTM teams, both the factory team and the new ownership Tech 3 team, they got us unveiled on the 27th of January, just a few days ago. Today is the turn of Gresini. We have tomorrow coming up the LCR team, and then it's the factory Hondas on the 2nd. But today, it is our best independent team from last year, the BK8 Gresini racing outfit. Lots of highlights from 2025, and in that video I actually forgot about Fermin Aldeguer at Assen. That thing was smoking. I can't even tell if it was the tyre or the swing arm, but Fermin Aldeguer, lots of colour and movement whenever he's around. Alex Marquez becoming a MotoGP winner, and what a place to do it at home at Jerez. As you can see, I am joined by MotoGP reporter and commentator Lewis Suddaby. I can see it's very dark over there in Kuala Lumpur. That must mean we're approaching kickoff for today's team launch. Good evening, Lewis.
Good evening, Kiko. Good evening from Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, it's around about 20 to 8 local time here in KL. Sun setting behind us, as you can see. And we are at the boathouse by the lake. Which lake? That lake that is just over my shoulder. Beautiful location for this Gresini launch. A team that does like to make a little bit of a splash. Hopefully I and no one else is making a splash in that lake just over my shoulder before the night is done. It's a location really of 3 parts. Here we've got the sort of foyer area outside the presentation. Just behind me there, you can see what is essentially a pre-show cocktail party which is taking place behind us. The great and the good of Ducati are already in there. Davide Tardozzi, Gigi Dall'Igna, amongst others, already here on site for this Gresini presentation. And then just behind the camera, we'll be heading in there shortly for the Dome, which hosts the presentation itself, where we'll get that first look on the 2026 colours for BK8 Gresini Racing. As you say, just one of their two riders here, Fermin Aldeguer with his broken femur, watching from home. We do expect he may still play a role in this team presentation, but Alex, as far as the riders on site, will be going in alone here today.
I really wish you hadn't mentioned a cocktail party while I'm cooped up over in HQ over in Barcelona, Lewis. I've got a question for you. Obviously, such a successful season for the BK8 Gresini team last year. Both of their riders Grand Prix winners, Rookie of the Year, second overall, taking the title fight to Marc Marquez, one of the GOATs of MotoGP. Can we expect the same in 2026, or is it going to be harder?
I think it will be harder for Gresini because the competition clearly in the second part of last year did catch up. Aprilia made it very clear with Marco Bezzecchi how strong they were. We're expecting KTM and especially Honda to be an awful lot stronger this season. If anyone's seen Aleix Espargaro's shakedown lap times today at Sepang, then I think we can expect them to be a serious threat. But where I think Gresini can be confident for this season is, of course, by virtue of their success last season, Alex Marquez's incredible performances, he will have a current spec GP26 Ducati at his disposal this season, which should, in theory, give him a real opportunity to fight for more victories this season. It is difficult, really, on the face of it, to see how far further up the order Gresini can get last year, given how strong Marc Marquez was. But I think there's every reason to expect that both Alex Marquez and Fermin Aldeguer, when he's fit again, can challenge for race victories this year.
One heck of a 2026 season. Lewis, we're going to come back to you very shortly, get a drink in you and get ready for that team launch. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you very much, Lewis, from Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia. Of course, 2026, as I say, exciting, but not just because of Gresini. The fact is that Marc Marquez comes into this season as the reigning champion, but he didn't finish last year, don't forget. He was out injured after Indonesia in his crash with Mandalika. My name is Tom. I am your number one fan. I hope Alex Marquez wins. Now, I'm not sure if you're telling me that you are my number one fan. I would probably suspect not, but I appreciate it if so. And if not, and you're saying that you're Alex Marquez's number one fan, then there's good reason to be, because Alex Marquez was absolutely tearing up trees in 2025. Have a look at this.
Alex Marquez, his first ever MotoGP victory.
Take the lead in the MotoGP World Championship.
We have a new sprint winner. Oh, Alex, that's aggressive on the inside of Bangyard. Alex Marquez has crashed out. It has been a brilliant bounce back in Barcelona for Alex Marquez, who takes the victory here in the Catalonia Grand Prix. Now Alex taking second in the standings. Alex will win a classic sprint here in Portimao.
Second overall in the MotoGP World Championship. They don't give silver medals out, but if they did, Alex Marquez would very much so be very deserving of it. That is why he is the world number 2 coming in to 2026. What a year it was. Of course, it's really worth reminding yourselves that he won in Jerez and then he won at his real home GP over in Barcelona. We are asking a question. Can Alex Marquez fight for the title in 2026? Let us know in the comments, yes or no. That's all you need to put. There's no option A, no option B. Our algorithm will detect yes or no. I've got to say, he fought for the title last year. He came up against his brother. If it wasn't for his brother, Alex Marquez would be a MotoGP world champion right now. He had a stunning season last year. It's all about whether or not he can build on it, though. It was a real breakthrough year in a lot of ways. Alex had never really performed at that level, at that consistency in the Premier class. He's now done that. There is more expectation that he can carry that on. Perhaps last year there wasn't the expectation that that will happen. Alex Marquez, MotoGP champion in 2026. Vamos, Alex. Keep your comments coming in. I am really, really excited to see what Alex Marquez can do, particularly on the GP26, as Lewis was alluding to earlier. He should have the opportunity to fight for more wins. He's got Grand Prix winning experience now in the MotoGP category. Gresini, what a year it was right across the board. Alex has got a fast teammate in Fermin, so within the box there's going to be that dynamic to try and push forward all the time, push each other to their limit, and let's see where that ends up. You've got Pecco Bagnaia still on a factory Ducati that's very, very strong when everything's working in the right way for him, and you've got Marco Bezzecchi, who finished the season in a flurry with back-to-back victories at the end of the year. I've got to say, Alex Marquez, it's not going to be easy, but you can be sure he's going to be in the mix, and 79% of you are agreeing with me there as well. 79% of you saying that yes, he will indeed fight for the title. 21% of you say no, and don't forget I said just put yes or no, but do leave an explanation as why you're thinking that. We want to know exactly your reasoning behind such a decision. You're having a look at some shots. This is back at the Valencia test as the sun was setting on 2025's track action in November. The poll's slightly changing now. 58% still the majority of you thinking that Alex Marquez will fight for the title, but now 42% of you saying that he perhaps will not be fighting for the most coveted crown in motorcycle racing. Time will tell. In fact, this time in 4 weeks, we are going to be in Buriram for the sprint. It's not that far away. We are 1 day away from the first racing month. I can see Lewis is there in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, and now he's inside the venue. It seems quite noisy and rowdy, Lewis.
Yeah, it is. The excitement is building. Seats being taken ahead of this Gresini launch. The bikes, you might be able to just catch a glimpse of them over our shoulder, covered up as we're waiting with tainted breath like the rest of you to see what the Gresini bikes look like for this season. As mentioned, one GP26 and one GP25 for the Gresini team this season. But yeah, excitement is building here, and as we've already discussed, real excitement for Gresini this season after the success of last season. So much that they can really build upon, because you have to remember they weren't exactly the official independent Ducati team last year. That was VR46, and yet it was Gresini that took up the leadership as far as the independent Ducati squads are concerned. So they're looking to make a bit of a bold statement here, not just with this launch, but in terms of their prospects for this season.
And something I was just touching on, Lewis, before we leave you to your own devices for a moment. Last year there wasn't the expectation that Alex Marquez can fight for the title. He did so. It wasn't the strongest of title charges, but he did keep his brother honest up until the flyaways. Now there is that expectation. The dynamic is slightly different this year, isn't it?
Yeah, the dynamic is different, and also the challenge that faces Alex Marquez in pre-season is different. Because, of course, as one of the riders who's going to be riding the GP26, he will also shoulder a lot of the burden of the development work for this season alongside Marc Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia and Fabio Di Gianantonio. One thing that Alex Marquez said last year was a real benefit for him, and he was so strong in the pre-season test, he was fastest here at the Sepang test, was he could just work on the bike. He didn't have to worry about testing development parts for Ducati and doing genuine testing parts. He was just testing himself and getting familiar with the bike for the new season. So in that respect, it will be different for Alex Marquez this season. But he's a class act. He's a world champion in Moto3. He's a world champion in Moto2. So I don't think Alex Marquez will be daunted by the challenge that lies ahead of him. But without question, it'll be a very different pre-season preparation and a busier pre-season for Alex Marquez.
It is going to be a very busy pre-season, but as you touch on, he does like Sepang. He was so fast there in the test and very quick there in the Malaysian GP towards the end of last year. Lewis, we'll be back with you very shortly. Thank you very much for all of that. We are closing the poll now for whether or not you believe that Alex Marquez will be fighting for the title. And look at that. It has narrowed down, though. 55% saying yes, 45% saying no. Let us know why you're thinking exactly like that. I've got to say, I'm surprised 45% of you are saying no, considering just how strong Alex was last year. He can only build on that for me. I think Alex maybe a real championship chance where he's leading it through the majority of the season. That's unlikely, but I think he's going to be a bit closer to his brother this year. Of course, we are in Kuala Lumpur tonight, but we are also in Kuala Lumpur in just a week's time, the 7th of February. You will be able to enjoy the MotoGP season launch. Last year it was in Bangkok. This year it's in Kuala Lumpur. Massive lineup, not just in terms of the MotoGP grid, but the scripts are playing, and so is Porza, one of the biggest DJs right now coming up through the world. It is going to be a real party down there in Kuala Lumpur, so make sure if you can't get there, you are enjoying it from the comforts of a sofa with a fridge within striking distance. We have got a lot to talk about. Alex Marquez, we've gone on a fair bit, but what about his teammate Fermin Aldeguer? What a season it was, the rookie last year, taking a Grand Prix victory. Some special scenes were back there in Indonesia when he wiped the floor with the opposition.
Phenomenal Fermin Aldeguer here in the Grand Prix of Indonesia. What a performance. What a dominant victory by the rookie.
Vai Frankie, vai a fare la foto. Via, Fermin.
¿Cómo sientes ser el ganador de MotoGP?
Mola.
Segundo, más joven.
Segundo más joven de la historia.
Me siento asistente, ¿vale? Hoy llevo la botella de esto, cambiadita. ¿Ser un asistente o no hoy? Parece el press officer hoy.
I love that comment of you look like a press officer. Maybe Alex Marquez and Christian Massa can come up with something special in the future if motorcycle racing doesn't work out for the number 73. But it's not going too bad so far. Great scenes. That was back in Mandalika on that Sunday. Oh, what can you say? Fermin Aldeguer, fantastic last year at points. 8th overall in the championship standings. Rookie of the year by a decent margin. And a Grand Prix winner. A fantastic year. We are asking, will Fermin Aldeguer be a winner again this year? Let us know. Yes or no, that's all you need to say. Leave us a reason why, please, as well, just so it gives us something to natter on about. For me and my money, for what it's worth, Fermin Aldeguer, I'm quite surprised he was a Grand Prix winner so soon in his MotoGP career. He, as we saw in that video we just showed you, he was the second youngest, he is the second youngest Grand Prix winner in MotoGP. The fact he's won a Grand Prix before Pedro Acosta, and given the rivalry those two have had through the years, is probably a bit of a shock to the 37, and he won't want that to go on too much longer. But Aldeguer, at the end of the day, is on a Ducati. We know the Ducati is just so good, but at the same time, the 54 was absolutely flying at times last year, and not just in Mandalika. You have to think back to Le Mans in both the wet and the dry. He was competitive in Austria when he put on that late charge to try and catch Marc Marquez for his first victory. There was lots of highlights for Fermin. For a speedy recovery for Fermin, praying for a speedy recovery for Fermin. we all are, and let's hope that he is competitive, because I have got a very special feeling that Aldeguer going back to tracks that he now knows on a MotoGP bike could be something really special. I gotta say, whether or not we're going to see multiple Grand Prix wins, I don't know. There's one in the locker, there's 2 or 3 in the locker, but do I think, is he going to be the #1 rider in Gresini? We'll have to wait and see. Alex Marquez, as we've been talking about already, has been a little bit of a star recently, and that's not going to be easy to top up. Then you've got the question of the 93, Marc Marquez. Will Fermin Aldeguer be a winner again this year? 87% of you saying yes, 13% of you saying no, so a lot more people quite in the same boat, I think, when it comes to Fermin Aldeguer's prospects in 2026. I think he is still going to be featuring at some point today across the team presentation over there in the Malaysian capital. We'll have to wait and see in what capacity, but I would be surprised if there isn't going to be a video call of some sort. It is a team presentation after all. But these are shots that we had saved up from the, or they were shots that we had saved up from Valencia back at the end of November, when they stayed for a couple of days after the end of the year for a test. I can tell you that staying as well with us over there in Malaysia, there's something rather lively going on the stage, Lewis. You're not fancying getting those hips moving, my son, and joining them? I think you're probably better suited with a microphone, I've got to say.
Yeah, they're 35-year-old hips now, so I'm not sure they'll move particularly well if I jumped on there. I might get thrown out before getting to speak to Alex Marquez. But yeah, they're making a show, aren't they? So certainly making an exciting pre-launch. Let's see if the launch and the 2026 season for Gresini matches up. If there's anything like the spectacle they're putting on here, then I think we could say Gresini are in for a pretty good season.
Let's say his hips might not be lying on stage. Mine would just be crying. Lewis, thank you very much for that, and we will be crossing back over very, very soon. I can tell you we are 3 minutes away now from cracking on with the team presentation for Gresini. It is going to be phenomenal. Talking of phenomenal, MotoGP, it is the most exciting sport on earth, and you can enjoy it in the best way possible. Get a ticket, get to the track wherever you are, whether you're in Brazil, whether you're in America, whether you're in Indonesia, you've got to go to the MotoGP festivals. There's 22 of them this year. It is our joint biggest calendar. We're back in some countries we haven't been to for a long, long time. It's been over 2 decades since we were in Brazil. We are just about changing the middle bit of the calendar as well. The UK, we go back to Silverstone, one of the classics on the calendar, in summer, a British summer. MotoGP, it really is unmissable, and it's unmissable not just on TV, but unmissable live and trackside. And of course, trackside, there's a load of experiences for you to enjoy on top of just coming and watching. Will Fermin Aldeguer be a winner again this year? 84% of you have said yes, 16% of you have said no. They are your final results. Thank you very much for participating. Keep your comments coming in, keep your opinions, keep the conversation flowing. We are just around, I don't know, 90 seconds. Oh, look, there we go, right on cue. Less than 60 seconds away from getting underway now in Kuala Lumpur for the BK8 Gresini MotoGP team launch. We're going to definitely see Alex Marquez. We're going to be seeing Nadia Padovani, I'm sure. Michele Masini, we'll be hearing from him a little bit later on as well. I'm fairly positive about that. Let's see what capacity Fermin Aldeguer is there in. Obviously, he's not going to be there trackside, but he is going to be, I imagine, involved in some way, whether that's via a video call or whether that is with a pre-recorded message. We'll have to wait and see. But Gresini Racing, they are your runners-up in 2025, the best independent team. They have achieved so much. Can they achieve the big goal? We'll have to wait and see, but their colours are about to be ripped off. We are going to be crossing over live in a very, very short moment indeed, as they tease us a little bit more with 10 added seconds. I feel like we're going to be in a football match in a minute with the amount of added time. Let's see if they're ready now. Yes, indeed they are. That's enough for me. We'll see you at the other side of this. Enjoy.
Petang, and welcome everybody to the BK8 Gresini racing launch, live here from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia on the eve of the 2026 MotoGP World Championship, getting underway at the first official test just down the road at the Sepang International Circuit in now just 3 days' time. And of course, you join us here for the 2026 launch for Gresini Racing in what is a hugely important year for the Italian outfit as they celebrate 30 years of racing in MotoGP. And 2025, well, it was unforgettable. 4 Grand Prix victories, including those debut triumphs for Alex Marquez and Fermin Aldeguer. Best independent rider, best independent team, Rookie of the Year, and of course, the 2025 MotoGP World Championship runner-up. It was a truly exceptional season. So I imagine for Gresini racing fans around the world, we enter this new year with a mix of excitement and expectation. The beating heart of Gresini Racing is down to 3 people. The trailblazing team owner, Nadia Padovani, the commercial and marketing director, Carlo Mellini, and sporting director, Michele Masini. Let's put your hands together and welcome them on stage. Guys, if you want to join me. Ciao. Nice to see you. How are you? Michele, good to see you. Carlo, how are you? So, Nadia, 2025, as we said, was another historic year for Gresini Racing, but as is the case in MotoGP, we have to look forward to 2026. How excited are you for another year ahead?
Allora,
Are you for another year ahead?
hello everybody. Allora, adesso parlo in italiano.
Yep, no problem.
Il 2025 è stato un anno grandioso per noi, abbiamo vinto tantissimo e nel 2026 speriamo di essere ancora protagonisti di questo mondiale.
So, Nadia just saying that 2025 was a great year and we enter 2026 hoping to be protagonists in the championship once again. Carlo, to you, it looks, I've seen the bikes, I won't give too much away, but there's some old friends on there, some new friends on there as well. Once again, it looks as though there's some great partnerships for Gresini Racing. How proud are you for those partnerships that you've built?
Yeah, we proudly can claim a fantastic pool of sponsors. With a very high grade of loyalty. Some have been on board already for 10, 15 years. Last year we welcomed BK8 News as a title sponsor. I think they had fun. I think it was not a bad rookie season for them. So I would like to thank not only BK8 as a title sponsor, but every single official sponsor, technical sponsor, newcomers, and our commitment to deliver another exciting season to everyone.
Absolutely. And Michele, looking at both riders, Alex, of course, the runner-up in 2025, so to improve on that, there's only one thing to do. How do you manage the obvious expectation going into this new season, given what Alex achieved last year?
Yes, I think that after an unbelievable season, difficult on the paper to improve, but we will try, of course. I think that we don't have to invent nothing new, just restart the season in the same way we start last year, with determination and the big effort from every single part of the team. And I think that we have more than last year, including the factory package for Alex, just to have more instrument to put on the track to have a better performance.
And we have to address the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, just one rider with us today. Fermin back home, continuing his recovery. Another great year for him, getting that debut victory. So I'm sure a huge shame for him to pick up an injury in such a crucial moment. How is that affecting preparations going into the new year?
First of all, we wish to Fermin a speedy recovery, and we will give him a proper time to recover and come back at his 100%. And of course, last year he's already shown on track his huge talent with one Grand Prix win. And I think that this year will be crucial to find the constant on track, because also every single Friday in every single GP will be different compared last year, because last year was everything new. From the start of the weekend, so I think that we will in the top position before than comparing last year.
Guys, thank you very much. Let you take your seats, and Nadia will be getting your assistance later on. Of course, got 2 covers to pull off, so Nadia is going to take on the job of Fermin later on once we get to the big moment. As we mentioned, 2025, an incredible year for Gresini Racing. Get this, 33 podium visits across Grand Prix and sprints last year for the Italian squad, meaning that there's quite a few highlights to pick from. Here are some of the best. Yeah, what a year, and as Carlo mentioned, the second year in partnership with BK8. I'm now pleased to welcome to the stage, put your hands together for Managing Director Michael Gatt. Michael, if you want to join us. Good evening. So Michael, now moving into our second year as title sponsor of Gresini Racing, looking back at those highlights, how proud are you of this partnership?
Yeah, thank you. The first year confirmed that it was the right partnership with Gresini Racing. As we all know, the team delivered some very strong results, both on and off the track, which in turn gave us the confidence to renew the partnership and continue this journey together.
What does it mean as well to be a part of Gresini Racing and the family environment they put together, and then to be part of the MotoGP World Championship as well?
Yeah, so our audience appreciates authenticity and reliability. Remaining as a title sponsor places us with one of the most respected teams in the sport, and also allows us to bring the fans closer with social media engagement, exclusive content, and some exciting moments from the paddock. This was never going to be about the short term, so remaining with Gresini reaffirms our long-term commitment, not only to Gresini, but also to MotoGP as a global sport.
Excited for 2026?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, coming back from the past year, we're very excited. I believe we have very highly dedicated and focused riders in Alex and Fermin. Hereby, I would like to send my wishes to Fermin for a speedy recovery and a quick return to the track. And yeah, overall, we're very proud to continue this journey. And yeah, we're looking forward to many podium finishes in the upcoming year.
Michael, thank you very much for your time. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the show. So, as we mentioned at the top, 2026, a hugely important year for Gresini Racing as it marks 30 years in MotoGP. So, let's take a trip down memory lane of Gresini Racing. Some unforgettable moments there. 30 years that included World Championships, MotoGP legends, victories galore, and of course, I'm sure Fausto will look on at what has happened over the past couple of years and be incredibly proud of the work that has been carried on. We mentioned World Championships. Well, there's one man that is hoping to try and go one better in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the 2025 MotoGP runner-up, Alex Marquez. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
All fine, you?
Yeah, very well. Nice holidays. I can see a little bit of a glow, bit of a tan. Have you been
Was today on the track.
Yeah? Okay. Have you enjoyed your time off? Do you feel rested, recovered, ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, the winter have been so far really good. We were able to make some trainings to prepare physically and mentally our body for the 22 races that we'll have this year. That will be really important, and it's a really tough year with 22, and really like psychologically special thing. It's really tough, but yeah, I'm feeling ready to going again in this new season with a really and a good goal.
Last year was so special for so many different reasons. Have you given yourself the time to reflect and enjoy what you achieved?
I mean, I was able more to concentrate a little bit in the things that we did in a wrong way, you know, that we need to improve a little bit. The good things, we know which one we did it, but especially in the things that we will not able to be shiny as the other one. So with the team, we did some analysis, with Ducati also, and I think we are ready to improve a little bit this year and try to shine as we did last year.
Now an official Ducati rider, having finished second last year, a Grand Prix winner, it's obvious this year there's expectation, there's pressure attached to that. How are you managing that?
Yeah, after a season like last year, running up and being able to fight with the top guys, it's normal that we are of that names before to start the season on the table. But we need to don't change the mind. I mean the concentration, but especially the mentality should be the same one. I think if we change something, will be the wrong way to approach the season. So yeah, we'll have all the ingredients to cook slowly the things, and it's the things that we need to extract all the potential from the official Ducati bike.
Right, should we unveil the livery? I think we should.
I think it's a good time, but Fermin is not here, so you will do it?
No, I'm not going to do it. Nadia is going to help us. So Nadia, if you'd like to come on stage and take the job of Fermin. So good luck. Right, I'll move to one side. And Alex, Nadia, if you want to get ready, we can officially unveil the 2026 BK8 Gresini Racing Ducatis. Over to you guys. So there we go, the signature blue of Gresini once again taking centre stage with a little bit of touch of black. For everyone at home and here in the audience as well, let's take a look at some of the finer details of the 2026 BK8 Gresini racing machine. Well, first and foremost, Alex, what do you make of it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's super nice. I mean, we changed the silver for the black, more aggressive,
Yep.
more sharp.
Yep.
So good thing to to go in the season in an aggressive way. So we'll try to, as I said, we have less shiny, but we'll try to shine on track. That is more important.
Does it look fast?
Always, always, always. This bike looks fast.
Oh, we've got a special guest.
Oh,
Let's step aside. Fermin, hello, how are you?
Hello everyone. I'm good. You?
Yeah, all good. Great to have you joining us live from your home in Andorra. Big question, how are you? We're sad not to have you here, so is the recovery going well?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't stay there, but the most important thing is my femur recovery is going well. Day by day, I feel better. Always closer to arrive to stay on the bike, but now it's time to stay at home, continue with the recovery, and look my bike in a screen.
Yeah, a shame you can't be here in person. Have you got any idea when we might be able to see you face to face? What's the target over the next few weeks?
I hope as soon as possible, but in that moment I can't say one date, one race for sure. I have some goals on time to arrive. I want to stay in Brazil or maybe in Austin, but we have to wait all the exams, how I feel with my leg, and after this we come back.
And the big question, what do you think of the new bike?
It's super nice, super nice. It's the second time than I see, because I don't do the shooting with the team and with Alex. But yeah, we changed the silver for the black color. I think it's more aggressive. It's super nice, and we hope also a fast bike.
Absolutely. Alex, of course, shame for you to be here solo tonight. Have you got any words for Fermin back home?
Well, I would have to him if it's snowing in Andorra. Sure, it's super cold. But no, just to wish him a really good recovery. He needs to put ahead, he's so young and he has many years in career. So, we'll be here in Japan, but he will be always present. Whatever the day that he will come back, he will be present in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Fermin, absolutely great to see you. Good luck with the recovery. We can't wait for you to be back in the MotoGP paddock as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Fermin Aldeguer.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Alex, trabaja bien, ¿eh?
He says, Alex, work hard.
I'm doing everything here, He's jumping the shooting, this, everything. So.
I know. All the weight on your shoulders. He mentioned there, you might have seen that video. We'll let you into a little secret, that the video, the shot at the end when you're both like this, that wasn't actually Fermin. That was one of the Moto2 Gresini mechanics who had his helmet on trying to pretend to be Fermin, which is a nice little story. So we need.
That was funny. It was funny.
It was funny. We need to have him here in person. Right, before we let you go, we've got one final guest to bring on stage, an important man, Ducati Corsa General Manager Gigi Dall'Igna. Gigi, if you'd like to join us, please.
Thank you. Ciao to everybody.
Gigi, great to see you here. I hear that you've come straight from the airport, so thank you for making the effort. As we mentioned with Alex, now an official factory contracted Ducati rider on an official Ducati for the first time this year. So how proud are you to have him fully a part of the Ducati family this year, and what can we expect from him?
You know, it's honestly speaking, I think that not only Alex but the whole team deserve this treatment from Ducati, because they did a fantastic job last year. And honestly speaking, I'm really happy. I'm happy to provide to Alex the best possible bike for the championship, and also I'm really happy because for sure with such a good rider, I think that we can have a lot of information to evolve, to develop the bike during the season. So, you know, I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the start of a great partnership, I'm sure. Gigi, thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Gigi Dall'Igna. And well, that's all we've got time for, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for joining us here tonight in Kuala Lumpur or wherever you're watching around the world. We'll leave you with a sneak peek of what's to come on social media from Gresini Racing in 2026, because I'm sure a lot of you have enjoyed Facciamo un Cinema in 2024 and Gresini Records in 2025. So what's to come in 2026? Take a look and good night.
Dusty mesa, her looming shadow grows, hidden in the branches of the poison creosote.
Gotta love Gresini's style, I've got to say. I really enjoyed that. Brilliant job from our very own Jack Appleyard. Can tell you the livery not too different, but it is certainly tweaked and maybe made a bit better. The question is that whether or not Alex and Fermin can perform. We know Fermin is out injured. Alex, he's quick, but will he be able to get the job done? I have no doubt, but it's all what ifs at this point in time. Let us know what you think about the 2026 livery, and of course let us know your thoughts about the 2026 title charge for the Gresini team as well. Thank you very much to our very own Jack Appleyard. I was saying, brilliant to see Nadia Padovani. Can't wait to see what she's like in her rookie season, having taken the covers off her bike for 2026. It is a joke, of course. Nadia Padovani. And also, massive thanks to everyone in Gresini, really. Really, really good presentation. Quick, short, sharp, exactly what a presentation should be. No waffle, straight down to business. They removed the silver with light blue, I think. There's definitely less silver on it. I don't know if they've completely removed it. We're having a look at these, the video that they put together. Amazing Gresini liveries, brilliant stuff indeed. Yes. Do you know what? Gresini always get it done, don't they? They always nail it. Whatever livery it's been throughout the years. The Aprilia livery when they were with Aprilia. The Movistar, Telefonica, Honda livery back in the days with Sete Gibernau, the late great Daijiro Kato, and Colin Edwards all the way through the years with Marco Melandri. Then there's the Fortuna Gresini team from 2006, the San Carlo era. They always nail a good livery, and the BK8 News Gresini racing team, no different at all. And I've got to say, there's someone who is a real fan of MotoGP right from basically being born. I loved the tribute and the look back through 30 years of Gresini. I love the black strips on their number. Yeah, that's the big change, I think. It's only subtle, but not only have they removed a little bit of silver, but the number plate is also a little bit different as well. The best presentation this year, massive shouts from Alligator_DJ 2088. That's a big statement, I've got to say. We've had some good ones. I remember Aprilia's was quite good. Pramax, even though it was a little bit delayed, was very, very good. We've had some brilliant belters this year. So if 2026 carries on like that, we are in for a real treat. Obviously, we said that Fermin Aldeguer wasn't going to be there live, but he did connect via video call. It was great to hear from Fermin Aldeguer. No actual date, it seems, set for his return, but let's hope he doesn't miss too many GPs. We did also hear during that presentation from Michele Masini, the sporting director at Gresini Racing. He had a chat with Lewis a little bit earlier on. This is what he had to say.
Michele, good to see you here. The 2026 season starts here for the Gresini team. Just tell us how the excitement is within the team.
Yes, can't wait to start this new season, kicking off today here in Kuala Lumpur at home of our sponsor BK8. So I'm really excited to start a new season. Of course, we will wait our Fermin Aldeguer that is recovery from the injury, and can't wait to approach the track the first day here in Sepang.
We'll come on to Fermin in a moment, but in terms of the general team goals for this season, I guess you achieved your own triple crown last year. You were top independent rider, top independent team, and Fermin was the Rookie of the Year. So how did Gresini look to improve upon that?
But I think that we don't have to invent nothing, so just approach this season like the season before with determination, focus, and we know our potential. So I think that the best way is to keep always feet on the ground and work in the best way possible.
Alex had the best season of his life last year, best season of his MotoGP career, and of course added responsibility and pressure for him now with a current spec Ducati. How ready do you think he is for the challenge?
Yeah, I think that last year he made pretty much a perfect season, and I think on the paper it will be really difficult to improve, but not impossible. And I think that also with the factory package, we will have more instrument to improve our performance, and this is the things that we will try to do.
Fermin, as you mentioned, not here, not testing later in the week either. What's his current situation, and what is the possibility of us seeing him in Buriram either at the test or at the Grand Prix?
So the situation that is improving day by day, he still made the possible at home with the physiotherapy and all the things, but I think that we will spoke in for Buriram, I think in the next couple of weeks, and of course we will have to just give him the correct time for the recovery to see him on track again.
Yeah, very serious injury that he suffered from. Mentally, how is he? We know physically, of course, it's a big injury, but mentally, how is he knowing that he's going to miss some preparation time for his second season?
I think that mentally is already determined to come as soon as possible. Of course, you have to recover at 100% this big injury, but I see him really well. Also because I come to this home the past weekend, so I think that he's in a good mentality.
Thanks very much for joining us. Looking forward to the season ahead for Gresini. Kiko, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you very much, Michele Masini. Well, you've got to look at 2025. Alex Marquez started off so strongly, didn't he? Those 3 P2s right off the bat, and then the victory in Jerez, 4 podiums from 5. And then it was Fermin's turn at the end of the year. So Gresini got a very strong rider lineup. They'll just be looking to try and get on as many podiums again as possible. We are going to hear from Alex Marquez in a short while, but let's just wax lyrical if we can a bit more about Fermin Aldeguer. Thank you very much for this one, Christopher Deck. Will Fermin outperform Alex this year? That is a tough order. I've got to say, Alex Marquez, we saw Pecco Bagnaia on the factory machine not able to keep tabs with Alex in a lot of 2025, particularly the opening few Grand Prix. So you've got to say, Fermin, is he at that level of Pecco? At the end of the season he was, but it's one thing to put it together over a few GPs, and then it's a different thing to do it over the course of 22. So I've got to say, I'm a massive fan of Fermin, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's just not pile on the pressure for someone who is also quite injured. I just saw a comment there, Fermin the baby alien, get better soon Aldeguer. I think we all share those opinions. Fermin has got some real raw talent, and he is using that Ducati to the best of his advantage. He's on the GP25, of course, this year, so just 1 year out of date. And we saw last year that GP25 did have some sticky points. Marc Marquez was able to ride round them. It seemed Pecco Bagnaia was absolutely flummoxed and floored by quite a lot of them for a lot of the time. Alex Marquez, obviously not so bad moving into the GP26, and let's see if Ducati make a massive step forward or if it's just a small one. Of course, there's the big engine freeze, but there are still parts you can change, intakes, exhaust, so Ducati will carry on working, but it seems around August attention will completely shift to the new 850s that are coming in that are coming in 2027. These are some shots from Alex Marquez back at the Valencia test post end of the season last year. Rightfully so, Alex single-handedly carried this team to success in 2025. I don't know if he single-handedly did that Vanessa _1096. He definitely carried a lot of the weight, but Fermin, when Alex dropped the ball, for example, when Alex couldn't stay upright in the wet at Le Mans when he crashed twice, Fermin came through. When Alex crashed in Assen, Fermin, okay, also had lots of problems there, but wasn't too far away. When Alex was quick in Indonesia, he didn't have the pace of Fermin. So Alex definitely done most of the heavy lifting, but there were times when he missed out, and there were others when Fermin came good. So Fermin was rightfully Rookie of the Year and rightfully a Grand Prix winner last year as well. Julian T6719, I love Alex Marquez. Nice work, Alex Marquez. Thank you. That Joel Official 25. Keep your comments coming in, join the conversation, join the debate. We are not too far away, I'm sure, from hearing from Alex Marquez. We are not too far away from the first round of 2026. Nearly. We're going to have another look at the livery in the meantime, but I think 4 weeks today we will have had our first sprint of 2026. I'm excited. We've got testing to get through. Why have we got to go testing? Why can't we get straight into the GP? Buriram, and we got a couple of weeks off actually. Last year it was one on, one off, one on, one off. This year we start in Buriram, 2 weekends off, but then we have got that mammoth trip down to Brazil, and we are returning to Guyana. Then a week after that we're in America, a week off, and then we're to Qatar, and then the European bulk begins. The countdown is on. Let's go. Yeah, the countdown really is on. Make the most of spending some quality family time at home with your loved ones while you still can. Because I know, at least for me, when the racing starts and we're all trackside, all the loved ones, unfortunately, they get pushed to the side because A, MotoGP is the most exciting sport on earth, and B, we've kind of got to cover it as well. We've got to cover the stories. And see, after 3 months at home anyway, we all want to just have our own space again, don't we? So, get the telly turned on, get MotoGP turned on. It is going to be spectacular, and more often than not, actually, battles right the way through the field. There's great stories, great emotions, and actually more so this year, I've got to say, if you're not a fan of MotoGP and you're just tuning in casually, however you found us, welcome, but do join us in 2026. Because it is the last year of this era of motorcycles, the monsters, before everything gets just dialed back in a little bit for 2027. It is going to be a year to remember, and you can support us via the MotoGP store. Gear up, get your gear for 2026. All of the merchandise can be found there. Support your favourite rider, your favourite teams, and your favourite brands. And if you are coming to a Grand Prix, get it donned is what I'm going to tell you. You will fit right in. Gresini, of course, they have been in this paddock so long. I couldn't actually believe until I saw that video. It has been 30 years of Gresini racing, and that's not including the late great Fausto Gresini's own racing career through the years. So you've got to say, Gresini have been here for so long. They have achieved so much. You look back all the way through the years, the likes of Sete Gibernau winning multiple Grand Prix, Marco Melandri winning multiple Grand Prix, Alex De Angelis on the podiums various times, the late great Marco Simoncelli. We always love to see Marco Simoncelli appear in anything, and to look back a few moments ago on some of his career highlights as well. They were part of the Gresini team. Alvaro Bautista taking them to many podiums as well. Then they changed to lead the Factory Aprilia team. It was a slow burner, but they did get there in the end, and it was very much step by step. Then they changed to come back to a fully independent team with Ducati, and they've had a win every year since. It has been quite remarkable. You see in there, and plenty of shots in there, Frankie Carcetti, key within the Gresini family, has won GPs with so many riders, and most recently, of course, Fermin last year in Indonesia. On the other side of the box, Alex Marquez is really growing in stature, and for the first time in his MotoGP career comes into a MotoGP season as a MotoGP Grand Prix winner, and there is less pressure probably on him to deliver and tick that box. Fermin Aldeguer is a future world champion. You can't disagree. The thing is, with everything changing for next year, it's all about getting on the right bike and the right team with the right package. So we've really got to see exactly what Fermin Aldeguer can do when the regs change. That's enough waffle from me for a minute. I can see Lewis is standing by. There he is. Lewis, some first thoughts from that rather spectacular team presentation. Not too many changes, but some subtle tweaks for Gresini in 2026.
Subtle tweaks, as you say. They clearly want to stick with their roots, the very familiar team colours that we've had from Gresini over a number of years now. But I guess if it's not broke, there's no reason to fix it, and I think it's one of the liveries that works. It's a very distinctive colour scheme. We associate it now with Gresini ever since 2022 when they debuted it. So, yeah, glitzy, glamorous ceremony, very professionally presented by our own Jack Appleyard, and yeah, even if they had to I guess join Fermin Aldeguer via satellite, it was still a great presentation and a good mission statement for the team as they look to try and better one of their best seasons in recent memories last year.
Tough order, Lewis. I've got a question for you though. Fermin, obviously there seemed to be no date set for when Fermin's coming back. That is a massive hindrance coming into a year where he is expected to make a big step, fight for regular podiums, maybe even regular victories.
Yeah, really tough blow that for Fermin Aldeguer. I mean, there is no good time to get injured, and some would say it's worse to get injured during the season when you're going to miss Grand Prix, but I think this is the worst possible time to get an injury because the way Grand Prix weekends are now, you're constantly going for fast lap times. Right from Friday afternoon, you're already pushing for a top 10 place, so there are very few opportunities to make up that lost time in testing and in Grand Prix weekend, because as soon as you go to Buriram for the first Grand Prix of the season, Friday afternoon, you're already pushing for Q2. So these 5 days that Fermin Aldeguer was going to get, 3 here and then 2 in Buriram in a couple of weeks' time, were going to be so important. And I was trying to think of a rider that you could draw a parallel with, because Jorge Martin last year was a very extreme example of a rider who missed so much time through injury. But if you think back to Frankie Morbidelli a couple of years ago when he joined Pramac, yes, he was changing manufacturers. Fermin Aldeguer isn't doing that. But he missed all of pre-season testing, of course, with his injury, his concussion that he sustained in Portimao. And you can't really say that Morbidelli got up to speed until halfway through that 2024 season. You don't win that time back, so there is no question that Fermin Aldeguer is fighting an uphill battle already for this season, but I think we just all want to see him get fit again. We know how talented he is, and I'm sure Gresini will be patient with him, but for sure he will start this 2026 season on his back foot.
Lewis, thank you very much. I'll be joining you very shortly, I'm sure, when you've got some first words from Alex Marquez with us, but for the time being, thank you very much. And that is so true what Lewis says. You don't win the time back. More so, you don't win the points back. Any points that are lost, in particular when we go Grand Prix racing, is going to be tough to claw back with an informed Mark and Alex Marquez. Thank you for live streaming at MotoGP. Thank you for your support, Downforce 9, and we'll be here again tomorrow and on Monday. It won't be myself doing it, though. However, you will be joined by the likes of Chris Jordan and Conor Doherty, at least here in the hot seat. 73 and 54, love from India. I can't agree with you more. I think that is a real lineup this year, I've got to say. There was a lot of question marks last year, let's be honest. Alex Marquez was quick in testing. it was all about whether or not it would be the same come Grand Prix when we got underway. And it was. That was one question answered. The other one was Fermin Aldeguer. I, for one, when they announced 2 years ago that, well, maybe even 3 years ago, actually, was it 23 when Ducati announced that Fermin will be a rider in 2 years' time? I think we all went, oh, well, just one moment, because he's done an exceptional job when he strung those Grand Prix wins together in Moto2, but that is a massive statement to be making when you could have some of the established fastest riders in the world all looking to be on one of the most competitive packages. But then again, that's why I'm here in presentation and not making decisions on rider lineups, because Fermin Aldeguer absolutely silenced critics throughout 2025. Right, as you can see, let's cross back over live to Kuala Lumpur. Let's not do so. Actually, looks like we had a little bit of a problem there. Can't believe it's the signal has frozen over there in Malaysia. It will be stifling hot down there in the humidity of the Malaysian rainforest. Alex was definitely among one of the best not to win the title this year. Well, he was the best rider not to win the title this year, wasn't he? Thank you very much for that, Clad Creeper. I mean, second overall. I think he only had 3 DNFs. I mean, he was very, very consistent. We're talking 3 DNFs, of course, in the main GPs. He had a few too many, maybe, in the sprints. But I've got to say, for Alex Marquez to only have 3 GPs. Oh, I think we can cross over to now we're guessing. I think we're ready to cross over to Malaysia. Oh dear, we're having a few technical problems. That is such a shame, because we're really eager to get on and chat with Alex, mainly so you guys don't have to listen to me droning on a bit. I could be a drone pilot. I think we're ready now. He has defrosted. He is no longer frozen. Let's go to Kuala Lumpur quickly. Lewis, over to you.
Yeah, let's try again. Alex, good to see you. 2026 up and running. Just what are the feelings, what are the emotions ahead of a big season for you?
I mean, always like motivate, big emotions, as always, really motivate us. The first season that they did in the World Championship, and, new year, like new opportunities. So, we need to be really focused. We need to do, live from last year. We need to be again this year present there on the top, and we need to be competitive from the beginning. So from day one to until the last day in Valencia, we need to be really, really focused and don't forget what is our goal.
Best season of your MotoGP career last season, championship runner-up to your brother. So how do you go about improving on that?
I mean, it's true that after the year that we did last year, we are on the table. The names on the table for this year is something normal. It's something that I like it. Everybody is showing us as a big competitor, and this is always good. So what we need to do with the team is the same job as we did last year. Try to not change many things. Try to not change, especially the mentality. The mentality should be the same one, because it helped me and also to the team last year to achieve that results. But also, we'll try to improve our weakest points. We know which ones are. We analyzed during all the winter with the team, so we'll try to be even more complete in some point of the season than we did some mistakes.
Your reward for such a good season last year is you have the current spec Ducati this season. Does that bring added pressure along with it? Are you looking forward to the challenge? And I guess a different challenge that faces you in testing and through the Grand Prix weekends?
Give to me especially more security. More like more mature to approach the things, but especially because we'll have all the ingredients to cook our things slowly, and we'll have all that we can have from Ducati to have performance. So we'll try to help, but especially it's Ducati who need to make the job to improve a little bit about the bike, because some manufacturers racers of last year were coming closer and closer. So we'll try this pre-season to try the new things that Ducati will bring to us and try to make the bike stronger and stronger.
Yeah, how big do you see the competition from your rivals outside of Ducati? As you say, Aprilia so strong at the end of last season. Honda look like they've already made a step with their new bike. So how big is the challenge from outside Ducati going to be?
Will be interesting, because last year especially Aprilia and KTM were quite close on the end. They were coming and making some steps also the riders, not just the manufacturer, also the riders, Bezzecchi or Acosta, make some steps, and they were quite close. But especially, I mean, I think will be a really interesting year to see what the manufacturers make for the last season of these rules, you know. So it will be quite interesting that, but you know, I have the confidence that Ducati will make some steps, and they already did some this winter, and the bike will be more competitive, more complete, and in the points that maybe we suffer a little bit more will be even stronger.
A big contract year for so many riders. I'm sure you've seen a lot of reports already about 2027. Is it an ambition for you into the coming season to become a factory team rider once again?
Always that they ask this to me, I always say yes. I mean, it's normal that the riders look for factory team, factory riders, but I mean, there is a work that my manager needs to do. I'm focused on that. It's true that in the last days we have some big news, you know, but you know, everybody's trying to have the reason and say, you know, I was the first one to say it. So this is a job for the managers, job for the journalists. Just, you know, we are 2 days to start the pre-season, and I can't be focused on that. I need to make my job that is on track.
The hard work starts on Tuesday. We'll see you at Spain.
See you there.
Kiko.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you very much, Alex Marquez. I was just having a little giggle to myself there as Lewis absolutely turned the key on 2027 to Alex Marquez. I do love a good old silly season chat, and what a week it's been. I won't comment on it right now. That'll be for everyone else to go and sniff out the stories. Alex will challenge his brother's champion. He will deserve it. I believe it means Alex will fight for the crown. Thank you very much for that one. Yeah, I think if he can, he will. And I think if he does, it's going to be a stronger challenge than last year. We are always forgetting Mark is coming into 2026 off the back of a very complex injury last year. So I think we're really in for quite an interesting first few rounds. I know we always say that, was it Wayne Rainey, I think, once said, the ground war starts now as soon as we get to Europe. But I've got to say, I think we're going to be a little bit like last year. We're going to get into Europe, and I think we're still not going to be sure. If Mark is fit, then that's a certainty Mark's the favourite. But if he isn't, then there are a lot more question marks. And then, talking of fitness, Fermin Aldeguer. I mean, he's got to come back strong, but he's got to come back fit. We know he's going to be quick by the end of the season. This injury is going to go sooner or later. But it's just one of those knocks that you don't need coming into a pre-season like this. You don't want to be overriding, over-pushing, and then force more mistakes, perhaps in the case of Fermin Aldeguer. Of course, Kiko, what is a realistic result for Fermin? A top five overall for Fermin will be very impressive. I think it's doable, or at least it would have been had he not picked up the injury, because we're forgetting again, like, Mark is quick, Pecco is quick, Bez was unreal at the end of last year, and Alex was second overall and scored more points than anyone from Indonesia onwards. They're four riders. Acosta's not going to be slow. We are yet to see how the V4 Yamaha plays out, but I've got to say I'm quite impressed following all the stories from the shakedown. The V4 Yamaha seems a lot more competitive than a lot of people thought, so we'll have to wait and see how that comes out. And then you've got the VR46 Ducatis that he can pick up podiums early on. So it's going to be very, very tough for Fermin. But he is a Grand Prix winner. He has had MotoGP podiums. Gresini know how to get things done. So a top five, I would say, is a realistic result. Or at least it could have been a realistic result. If Fermin Aldeguer finishes 8th, but his average points are higher from the GPs he'll have started, then that will tell the story. I reckon we can cross back over now to Malaysia for some closing thoughts from Lewis Suddaby, who I can hear is still there. The party continues down there, it seems, Lewis. But just give us a quick wrap-up of the evening down there in Kuala Lumpur. What the atmosphere is like, what the ambience like, what the expectations are for what is going to be a very, very, very different, but similar in many ways, 2026 for Gresini.
atmosphere of real excitement. I guess they're still riding the crest of that wave from 2025, and you can totally understand that. I guess they're being careful not to talk up their chances too much. They're keen, of course, to improve, but what improvement looks like this season, given how far ahead of them ultimately Marc Marquez was in 2025, we will have to wait and see. It's clear, though, that Alex Marquez is still aiming very high. I think he takes great pride from being considered in the same conversation as the greats of modern day MotoGP, like his older brother Marc. So for sure, Alex Marquez, he's going to want to challenge for Grand Prix victories again. Of course, it's impossible to really have any sort of expectations for Fermin Aldeguer at this stage. We just have to see how soon he can get back to 100% fitness again. But there's no question, after the success of last season and the benefits that they're now going to get from that, of course, with Alex Marquez riding a 2026 spec Ducati, that there is no reason why Gresini can't aim high once again, and Alex Marquez can't aim to challenge his brother once again.
Lewis, we asked a question earlier. Will Alex fight for the title again? Will Fermin be a Grand Prix winner again? What are your thoughts on that? Yes or no for both?
No and yes would be my answer to those two. I guess it depends what challenging for the championship looks like. You could argue Alex Marquez challenged for the championship last year until we got to the summer. It was that sort of trio of races, Assen, Sachsenring and Brno, where his championship really fell apart, partly through injury and partly through bad luck. Given Alex Marquez is on the same spec bike as Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia in the factory Ducati team, in my view he should be looking to challenge for the World Championship this season. But I feel like MotoGP is so uber competitive, and it feels as if the advantage that Ducati have over everyone else is closing, that it is going to be a real tall order for Alex Marquez to fight for the championship deep in to the flyaways at the end of the season, and by the time we get to Valencia at the end of the campaign. For Fermin Aldeguer, there is no question that he's talented enough to win Grand Prix, because he's done it and won Grand Prix in an extraordinary fashion, dominating in Indonesia. If he returns fit enough to start the season, then for sure he's going to be strong enough to win a Grand Prix at some stage this year.
Oh, I can't wait, Lewis. So we got testing to come. You can join myself and Lewis and Jack and Elliot York for all of the stories and the trials and tribulations. Lewis, thank you very much. Live from Kuala Lumpur. We'll see you very soon on After the Flag near you. Right, we are just a few moments away really from wrapping this up. So we've had the third to last team launch, 2 more team launches remaining. But what about the calendar? What about our destinations for 2026? Well, we're underway in Thailand. I cannot wait. Get us out of the cold shackles of Europe, please, and into the sweatbox of Southeast Asia. Brazil, next up, round 2. America, round 3, and our 4 flyaways to start the season. Our fantastic 4. It draws to a close in Qatar, middle of April. Then, Jerez, Le Mans, Barcelona, Mugello, the classics. Balaton Park, back for a second season. Brno, back again. Assen, the halfway point of the year. Germany and the Sachsenring are our sole Grand Prix in July. We're in Silverstone for a British summer, and then Aragon ends August. Misano and Austria are back-to-back, so the Red Bull Ring welcomes us for another Spielberg thriller. I'll get there in a moment. Japan, Indonesia, Australia, Malaysia, Portugal, and then Spain with the Valencian Grand Prix end the season. I can tell you it is going to be one to watch. Thank you very much for joining us on Saturday, both from live here in Barcelona and over in Kuala Lumpur, from Hull City's very own and finest Lewis Suddaby, and from South East London's absolutely not finest Kiko Giles. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at the Sepang test. Check this out. Goodbye.